Hello everybody, my name is Overlord Pop-Tart and welcome back to this ongoing series of Good Evening from Korea. You can still see my fan going. I just turned it off. There's been no preparation made for this episode, and to be honest, I was enjoying my evening. I didn't want to stop. I've been very contentedly watching Top Gear, thanks to a new subscription of Amazon Prime. Just kind of been enjoying that. Playing some racing games, embracing myself in car culture, as I do love to do. But about today, let's see. PT today was in the gym. It was a leg day. I worked hard, got tired, got sore. My apologies. I'm actually doing this quite a bit earlier than I normally do. It's 8:30. Way earlier than I normally do it by probably a good hour or so, because I like to, for some reason, put these off. PT today, gym, leg day, worked hard, got sore. I'm actually doing pretty darn good for a leg day. Normally I'm more tired, so yay, I'm improving. As I was driving back to the barracks, it was incredibly foggy, so I took the scooter a little bit slower than normal. I like to take my scooter anywhere more than good 5 or 10 minute walk, just to save the time, to be honest, because I mean I'm going to burn about 40 calories walking that half mile when I could save myself the 10 minutes and enjoy a bit longer shower. So I took my scooter back. It was incredibly foggy to the point where my glasses fogged up. I could not see more than 30 feet ahead of me, and as I was driving I noticed there was a cop, an MP, a military policeman, in his SUV. So I was like, okay, I'll slow it down, gladly. I'd rather be safe. I turned my volume up to maximum so that people can hear me coming better because my scooter is electric. I turn all my lights on that I have, and I go at it. I'm probably doing about 20 miles an hour. And out of nowhere, cop turns on his lights. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Normally they kind of turn on their lights with a siren. Oh gosh, my hair. I should have done my hair before. Whatever. I'm not here to look good. Normally a cop siren's go on with the lights. He just kind of flashed the lights. I was like, oh, okay, sure. And I pulled over because I didn't even know if he was referencing me, and he pulled over as well. I was like, oh, okay, what have I done? And he comes up and he just says, hey, good morning, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm good. What's up, officer? I didn't say what's up, but like, what's the matter, officer? How can I help you? And he first stated that I was going very slowly, and I said, yes, it's very foggy out. I'm trying to be safe. He said, well, you don't have a lot of lights on. I said, yes, I've turned everything I have on, and I turned off the lights that I could turn off and said, see, this is the best I can do. That's why I'm going slowly, and I have my music up to let people hear me. So I said, okay. Now, I'm sure that thing can do the speed limit. I'm like, yes, this is the medium mode. It's not the high mode, and I'm going very slowly. He said, yes, but that scooter needs to be in the bike lane. Now, I've been driving on main roads for longer than 3 months here in Korea. And I have passed at least one cop every single time I've driven, every single day. And I've never once had one of them even look at me funny. In fact, I see plenty of other scooters of my scooter's caliber driving on the road because my scooter can do the speed limit. The speed limit, the highest speed limit on base is 30 miles an hour. My scooter will do about 34 on a good day. So I'm perfectly capable with keeping up with the highest speed limit on base and then going above that, which I do not do. But he said, yeah, that thing's got to be on the bike lane. And I saw some blue flashing lights. I said, oh, those are my speakers. They pulse with the music. My apologies. He's like, oh, okay. That's the big reason I stopped you. I thought you had like some kind of siren on. I was like, no. And I thought he was going to be like, okay, well, whatever, go back to the road. But no, he was still saying, yeah, you got to be in the bike lane. And as he was saying, yeah, just stick to the bike lane for the final time, a scooter passed us. And this is one of those ones, imagine the size of a Razor scooter, the ones that you push like with your feet, and you have your little handlebars up like this, and you stand on them. They're about that big, but they have a seat. So you sit, and your handlebars, they're like here. You're just driving like that. And I said, well, what about this guy? Now, those ones can only do maybe 10 miles an hour. So I figured he'd be like, oh, yeah, he should be off. No, he goes, Oh, well, those are technically motorcycles. What? Yeah, those are technically motorcycles. And with those, it's a bit sketchy. It's like, do they need license plates or not? I'm like, I can keep up with traffic. I can go faster than traffic. I pass traffic on my way to work. But because of the shape of my scooter, I now need to confine myself to bike lanes. So in the one day that I have confined myself to the bike lane, I have passed plenty of traffic going in the bike lane. Which means essentially that if literally anyone is in front of me in the bike lane, I'm just going to run them over. Because when you can do 10 miles an hour and I can do 30-something, and I'm taking up most of the lane, perhaps I haven't painted a good enough picture of what my scooter is. My scooter is about 5 to 6 feet long and about a foot wide. It has a 3,000 megawatt something motor, a big motor for a scooter, a giant battery, which is about 20 pounds, feels like at least. It's probably more like 15. Like a 30-kilometer range and a maximum speed of, let's just round up and say 35. Because it won't quite do 60, because 60 is the limit here. 60 kilometers an hour. 60 kilometers an hour is 36. So it's limited to just below that. And for some reason, because of the shape of it, because, let me see if I can draw it for you. Okay, so, handlebars here. You come down along this little thing, you got a wheel there. Then you move here, and you have a little platform where I put my feet. Then you move up here, this little tower here, that's where you put the battery. Seats up here, all right. Go back, battery here, like I said. And you move further back, there's the other wheel. All right, so it's not motorcycle construction, where it's got that little, like, triangle kind of shape in it. No, it's like a saddle, kind of a whoop shape to it. And because of that, I am now confined to the bike lane, apparently. But that's really the only bad news about today. It's not even bad news, it's just annoying news. Because I got to the office, was somewhat productive. We got to finish an interview that we have been waiting to do for a very long time. I was able to schedule another interview sometime next week. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't even know what I can do tomorrow. I guess we'll see. But yeah, very, very uninteresting day. No fun facts or anything like that. So I figured I might spice it up a little bit. It's actually kind of been a long episode because I was talking about that scooter thing for so long, but I figured I'd spice it up a bit by explaining my nickname. So Overlord Pop-Tart started, I believe it was my freshman year. It might have been sophomore year of high school. So that would make it a good 4 or 5 years ago back now. Gosh, that's weird to think about. But I was a drama kid, as is probably not surprising. And I was hanging out backstage with one of my good friends, and I was talking to him about, I've still got my old Steam nickname of Pokemaniac, which is like one of the characters in Pokemon. He wears like a dinosaur suit in the Pokemon games, the Pokemaniac character, and I thought that was really funny. So I took that name because I liked Pokemon when I was little. And I said, well, I need a new name. It's got to be something catchy, something interesting, something that means something to me. And so my buddy was like, well, it's got to be something with Pop-Tarts. I was like, well, what can you say about a Pop-Tart? Well, how about Overlord Pop-Tart? And the word Overlord was just such a weird title to put in front of something about a Pop-Tart. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I'll do that. And so it has been my name on that for forever. It's been my username on everything. The people on my Discord know me as that. Well, not my Discord, but people on Discord. You know what I mean. They know me as Overlord Pop-Tart. And now, the reason it had to do with something about Pop-Tarts is before that, I think this was middle school. Pretty sure this was middle school. I was in a performance, I believe it was Rapunzel or something like that, with Missoula Children's Theater. Now, these guys come by once a year. I think it's in the summer. Not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the summer. And it's a 1 week casting, rehearsal, performance, all in 1 week. So it's not a super crazy thing. So usually, younger high school kids, a couple of older ones, just for the more complicated parts if there is any, and then a lot of little kids perform it. Like they'll have those Bush 1, Bush 2, Bush 3, Bush 4, Mushroom 1, Mushroom 2, onwards kind of roles to fill out for those little kids. And I was hanging out, and one of the little kids, I think his name was Isaiah. Hello, Isaiah. You're never going to watch this, but hello. He had forgotten his meal for the night. Now, for some reason, I had recently gone into town, and I had found out that they made off-brand Pop-Tarts at Dollar Store, and they were $1 a box. I was like, that's the best deal I've ever seen. So I picked them up. They were called Toast-'em Pop-Ups. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, was it called Toast-'em Pop-Ups? It might have been something different, because I eventually switched brands for convenience, but this was a long time ago. This was a good, like, at least 7 years ago now. I had some off-brand Pop-Tarts with me, so I said, okay, how about I give you this Pop-Tart? What you got on you? He said, I got 4 quarters. I said, done. Pop-Tart for $1. So I just made my money back on the box. I was like, huh, okay, sounds like a good deal to me. That would have been the end of it if another little kid hadn't come up with another $1 and said, hey, Pop-Tart? I was like, sure. Another kid walked out, Pop-Tart? I said, all right. And suddenly, I'd made $2. Now, this wasn't an immense amount of money, but I'm still in middle school. I'm saving up. The best job I have is cleaning out the refrigerator every now and again for Mom for 50 cents. So, getting $2 out of nowhere with literally no work done, pretty good deal. So, I went back to Dollar Tree. Was it Dollar Tree? Yeah, Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, something like that. One of those dollar ones. And, excuse me. Anything else? I hate it when it does that. There we go. I went to one of those dollar stores, and I picked up a couple different flavors. Came back the next day. I said, does anyone still want Pop-Tarts? And they came up. They all had little dollar bills and quarters and dimes and things. Now, I wasn't exclusively selling to, like, 7-year-olds or something like that. These were all, like, 12-year-old kids. I think the youngest person there might have been, like, 9. So I wasn't just extorting just first graders for my first job. But eventually, I decided to bring Pop-Tarts into school. So it must have been leading up to my freshman year. And I had a supply of them. And I would ask my classmates at lunch, hey, anybody want Pop-Tarts? And I would go around the cafeteria and say, hey, who's hungry? Who wants dessert? Hey, I know you. You want some dessert? And it got to the point where if someone had forgotten their lunch throughout the whole high school, this was a 300-something person high school. It's a high school and a middle school included, 300 kids. So we all knew each other. But still, if anyone was hungry, they would come to locker, what was it? I will never remember my locker number, but they knew where my locker was. They would come up to me at lunchtime and say, hey, you got any food? I'd say, yeah, I got Pop-Tarts for you. What flavor do you want? It was at the point where I was keeping like 3 boxes of each flavor in the top thing of my locker for kids at lunch. And I was making a good like $10, $12 a day at one point because I had regular customers coming back. I had classmates who would want me to bring them to them in different periods. I had deliveries made, reservations on boxes, full on. I was outsourcing. I had one guy selling cookies on his bus route. Like, I somehow just became just this kingpin of a couple of different operations. One kid wanted to try beef jerky. I turned him down because I was like, I feel like beef jerky isn't as lucrative because it's kind of expensive. Like, you don't want to drop beef jerky for $1 because if you are, it's nasty. But like, I was just overseeing this weird Pop-Tart empire. So the term Overlord Pop-Tart was just so fitting for some reason. And throughout the school, I was known as the Pop-Tart Peddler, which was something that my drama teacher, I believe, coined. Either that or one of my sisters, because I remember it was started in drama class, was the Pop-Tart Peddler. And anytime anybody needed food, I was just like, yeah, I got you. What do you need? And eventually I started carrying other stuff, yada, yada. I did much less in my senior year, but I still did it a little bit as kind of a, yeah, sure, why not? Especially once a store called Dollar General was built in my city. I think that was my sophomore year, and I transitioned over to their brand, which was Toast-'em Pop-Ups, and it was so much fun. That's one of my favorite memories about high school, was just the Pop-Tart trade deal that I had somehow created amongst this community of my classmates and others. And I suppose I should say, for the end of the story, we are 100% certain that by the end of all that chaos, there is not a doubt in our minds that between me and my friends, I calculated it, I made more than $400 over the course of my high school selling Pop-Tarts. And the first $100 or so of that went towards my first car. I bought a Ford Focus, a percentage of which was far too large, a percentage of which was paid for by Pop-Tarts, by off-brand Pop-Tarts sold through my high school. So that is why I have the nickname Overlord Pop-Tart, because something close to home, something that sounds funny, and it can be shortened to OP, which is short for overpowered, which I thought was kind of funny. One or two of my nicknames has been OP, O-P-E-E, on video games before, if, I don't know, I just wanted to say something different. But yeah, that is why I'm Overlord Pop-Tart. I pretty significantly influenced my school's dietary culture over the course of a couple of years. That was one of the things I was best known for. And I'm proud of it, to be honest. I was a businessman. I liked providing a service for people that wasn't expensive. It was very casual. It wasn't anything I had to deal with. Some people would come up to me and be like, they're not labeled for resale. I was like, yes, they're not labeled for resale so that the provider who sells it to me is not responsible if I shove a razor blade in there. So you're just going to have to trust me that I didn't shove a razor blade in there. Nerd. I'm trying not to swear on the channel. And then they would laugh, buy one, and I would probably say something like, yeah, bring the razor blade back when you get it. Something like that. It was fun. It was a good memory about high school. I have a lot of good memories about high school. So if you're ever going through high school and it's just a sludge through the years, you're not doing anything fun, do something stupid. Bring Pop-Tarts to school. Be like, hey, you want to buy some? Work for me. Just let a situation just take you. Just go full 100%. Okay, where's this going to go? Like, you draw something absent-mindedly in class on a worksheet and somebody's like, hey, that's pretty good, you should join art. Just join art. Just do it for 4 years. Just be like, yeah. Because then, even if you hated it, you have a really good story to tell other people one day. Just, yeah, remember I joined German in high school for like 3 years. And they're like, why? You can't speak German? Yeah, I forgot all of it. Why did you join German? Oh, some kid said I should. What? And then you have at least a 12-minute story to tell people on the internet. That'll be the advice for tonight. All right, I'll wrap it up. So, whatever time it is for you, whether it be good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever applies, I hope it's good. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. Try to make the next ones a little bit more entertaining. Maybe I'll finally talk about cars a little bit. Oh, I'd love to talk about cars. But that would be like a 45-minute episode, so maybe not. But thank you for watching all the way to the end. Until next time, stay frosty.